This is exactly what I anticipated feeding. That's carp bubbles. I'm familiar with that in this swim. That's the rod I'd baited, that's the swim I'd baited with the corn, hemp and pellets. I'm just about to reel in the right hand rod and put that over that area. As if we ain't got enough swans. It's family outing. I'm going to get a bite on this rod. On my right hand rod, I know I'm going to get a bite as sure as eggs are eggs. Mark my words. I baited up there with the hemp, corn, pellets. My heart is banging away. I've moved the rod from the island over there to there with a tiger and a PVA bag full of pellets. There are a couple of fish there for sure. It's 9 o'clock approaching Thursday, 3rd of July. The 5th trip on Harrow and it could all kick off. Big fish just rolled right over on the edge of those snags there. So now I've reeled in that one to put it over the bubbling there. And there's fish out here. This is probably the best chance I've had since the first day of the season of being on fish. There's one guy up here to my left. It's very quiet on the islands. Next hour is the witching time. Ripple's still coming back. That was a good fish. Don't know what to do now. I'm sort of in limbo. Well, it's my first trip over Warwick Lane for a few weeks, that's for sure. A couple of months even. It's sort of approaching mid-July, so Thursday. No, it's a Wednesday. I brought Paul Tilbury with me. I've had one fish, a common, about £9, but I'm in my favourite spot. Paul's to my left and we've both got a rod out on the boat, but while I'm looking around I can see some fish out here. I'm just going about to reel in the right hand rod and throw it over here. We can see the fish. They were churning up the bottom earlier, so I'm going to put out a little bag of pellets. I've put a few pellets out catapult, but just down on that clear spot over there is where I've seen some fish. See that spot better from here. That's where the bait's going to be going now. Haul's in. Okay. Keep that rod left. Down, 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 Paul. Keep the rod down.
Yeah, I've got it.
And pump him, otherwise you'll go through all our lines.
Oh, I see.
That's it.
Like
well done.
Big eel, yeah?
Yeah, keep pumping him.
Right, okay.
Paul's got that fish in, a £21 common, a personal best, and boy are we pleased for him. I'm gutted really, I want one. Ah, well done Paul. It's only took us a few years to get you that, innit?
A few years, yeah.
Paul's struggling with that.
Hey?
You get a bit of video footage and a couple of pictures, Paul, but well done.
Alright, cheers mate. Come here.
Well, I said I saw some fish over there and I just lost what felt like a good fish. Fishing over on that little plateau where I baited up. Put a PVA bag, so at the moment I've had one and lost two. It's not good angling, so got to turn it around. So the conditions are getting good though, best conditions we've had for a few days since it's been in the 70s and 80s. It's sort of whether you want to be on Arrow, so I'm hoping to get there Saturday maybe. We're out Friday on Blakey's do. But yeah, it's mid-afternoon, there's plenty of time to come. I'm running out of bait, what we're baiting up with me and Paul in the boat. Just fishing a piece of that in a yellow rig phone. That's exactly that bubbling where my hook bait is. I was just speaking to Andy early at 6 PM. Lost two, had one, small one. Paul's gone up to get some fish and chips, but yeah, I think we're in with a shout this evening, although we're running out of bait. Just put back a tench, about £3, but that is right where I've been baiting. You know when you're on them.
Smashing. That's what it's all about. Thank you.
One more picture.
Alright.
Fish about £12 I would have said, Paul.
Yeah.
11, £12, yeah, well done.
Yeah.
Well, it's Tuesday. That's the Canadian pondweed, which is all over the joint. I'm fishing in Dearman's. and presentation is the problem right now. I've got particles out which I'll go through in a little while, but we've seen a couple of fish. Martin lost one earlier and he had one this morning with 20 common. I got here about 1:30, set up about 3, and the conditions are good, but presentation's the issue. There's our mate Andy, big surprise from our Tarpon trip. Sitting here on his, I thought I was dreaming when he's popped up. Yeah, it's good to see him. Caught up now, he's off, and yeah, good lad. Well, it's 8 o'clock. I've got the right hand rod out there about 15 feet straight in front, and the left hand rod's out there about 15 yards. And the normal tactics. I've seen the odd fish, one big one during the day. Hopefully the best time to come. Last 2.5 hours. This video comes out again, means I've had one. That looks familiar. I'm a bit beyond them. That's just before my left hand rod. I've got to come a bit shorter. I've overcast. Well, it's a Sunday afternoon, rare occasion that I'm out on a Sunday. I was going to Harrow, but there's a 10-mile traffic jam, so I've come over Warwick. There's loads of fish. This is an area I've been looking to fish. And I've got a left hand rod down there. Just got the one rod out at the moment over the particles, hemp, pellets and corn. And I'll put some floaters out. And I'm starting to get the fish to take them now. So yeah, it's a perfect afternoon for fishing. Harrow fished well yesterday. Jim had a 38, Mick had the long one at 46 and a couple of small ones. It's perfect conditions. So hopefully I'm in with a shout. Looking to the right of the stream now. I'm at the end of the lake, the north end. I'm fishing just over there, at the back of that bush. I'm just moseying around where to put the second rod. Until they start taking a chum, I'm not going to fish for them. There's fish all over the joint here. Yeah. Just had this common, been out here about an hour and a half, and probably just over 20 pound. Looks like it's been through the walls with that towel, but yeah, well pleased with that. Perfect fish. Let's get the other side. What a mistake here, would ya? Well, it's approaching 8 o'clock Sunday night. I put that fish back a few hours back now. It's been quieter than I would have expected actually. I had that bite on that left hand rod. Got the right hand rod over there. Relic's on his way over for a chat and pick up some bits and bobs. So I'll probably fish till about 9:30. And then 10 minutes I'm home. Well, I'm on Arrow now, Tuesday afternoon, spur of the moment trip. This is angling for you. I've seen a fish in here. Trevor's kindly shown me where the spots are, and it's a nice afternoon for it. Me and Trev the only ones on the lake. What happened there, Trev?
Fucking target kill.
Well, so I mark a float out there in line with the bottom corner. I've got one just to the left of that, Trevor's got one to the right, and then the left hand rod I'm going to be putting down there, which I think is where a fish just moved, because I heard Trevor shout out and I heard something. So in line with that sort of willow, about 50 yards down the lake, or up the lake. Alright, Trevor's just thrown the float out down the waterworks bank. It's nice and clear, just going to come and bait up now with my tiger's corn and hemp. It's nice and clear out there, Trev, yeah?
Beautiful, Kevin.
There's the float. Trev, that's a Flintstones catapult, isn't it?
Hey, fucking.
What's that, a dinosaur bone?
Put some out there though, Kevin.
bit short that, Trev. Trev's casting out for the evening now. It's 7 o'clock. Had a line bite on my left hand rod earlier. Conditions are looking good. I'm sure we'll have a bite. Yeah, that looks short, Trev. Ain't too far to the left.
Don't stand behind me, Kev.
Go on, mate.
That's the one, Kevin.
There we go. That looked like it, Trev. What do you reckon on that one?
Too far.
Too far? Yeah, Trevor's fly fishing. Look at the swan. That swan was standing on the bar out there. It still is. 70 yards out, 60 yards out. That's the sort of weed we can get on Arrow, but it's a lot less here than up the other end. Smeggy stuff. That spot that Trevor and the boys have been fishing certainly been kept clear by the fish. What do you say, Trev?
Well, it certainly seems to have been, Kev. It's getting bigger and bigger by the day.
Yeah.
I still can't hit it.
Yeah, no. Trevor's not very good at this casting. It's an essential part of carp fishing, casting, Trev. I want to get out of the way now because you're going to get the ump and tell me off. Trevor's in, approaching 8 o'clock. It's roared off his right hand rod. Oh. Do you want me to put this down, Trev? Yeah. It's one of the stockies, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, yeah, I've got this one around here like this.
Go on, Trev. This is Arrow, don't fuck about. A Harrow carp. Watch your other rod. Watch my rod.
If you put the video on, you have trouble, don't you?
Whoa, whoa. Eee.
No, it hasn't caught the other line, I don't know.
Ooh, get him in. That's him. Perfect. Lift it up. Oh, you missed it. Go on, Trev. Now lift, 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 lift. Yes. Well done, Trev. I think so. Yeah, Harrow carp, about 12 pounds, Trev. Yeah.
That's what you're giving me, Kev.
Yeah. I reckon 12 pound.
Right.
Got him. Well done, Trev. Result.
Wait.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, well done, Trev. Super catch.
Thank you, Kev.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, all with their heads down. Pain in the arse. Can see us having a bit of jip off them tonight. Well, it's Saturday, 2nd of August. Must be approaching 80 degrees, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I was going to Harrow. Alan and Chris are going to a party, but it's too hot, too much traffic, going to the Robbie Williams concert. So I've come over Warwick. I'm having a go on the top. I've got one rod out on the boat, and I'm going to have a go at these in the weed on that far island on the top. And this is the method I've got to catch them with. Some big chum mixers in a bag, and I've put out a couple of these over there. And as they start taking, put one on the hook, throw it out there. And the hook nipped in there should give me enough weight to free line one out there. So that's it in theory, let's see it in practice. There's the mixers, bag's just melted. See how we get on. And already they're taking, because they're not used to seeing mixers out there. Watch the bag just explode. You'll see. Look at that. How clever's that? Well, so much for the theory. It's great in practice. They're the problem. Got a zig rig out now on the left hand rod over the back there, and then the right hand rod's presented over a boated out corn pellets and hemp. This type of weed is exactly what's out there. Been bringing it in its droves. Look. So presentations after battle for sure, as it is on Harrow. There's fish all over the baited area, right on the money there. It's just them geese giving me egg. What a piece of kit. Got a little friend. Tame as you want this pigeon. Well, it's the evening now. I've had no action at all. It's been in the 80s. Let the fish go down now. There's loads around in bottles where they've been milling around all day. I'll give it till about 10, I reckon. In that last hour's my chance. But all there, fish all day. Every fish in the lake must have been on the surface today. Well, it's Tuesday. I'm back on Arrow in a swim. If I catch a big one, could name Elzol under the trees to the right. I don't know if I'm being too clever for my own good, but the plan is to ball out some vitamin, which has got corn in, sunflower hearts and some pellets, and I'll be fishing tigers on the hair with a little bit of hemp, and then the other rod I'm going to be spotting it out. But that float there is just on the edge of the Canadian, so I'm going to be putting out just beyond that, so that I'm just on the edge as the fish come through. Tell me that ain't the method. Well, I'm set up in amongst the jungle here, but it's a swim I don't recall ever having fished before, and coming through there I've set up. To my left is at the under the tree swim, and it just looked good out here, and the fact that it hadn't been fished means possibly the pressure's off here, and you know, the fish could feel safe in this vicinity. So I've got one out about 30 yards and the other one about 40 yards. There's quite a lot of weed here, but certainly easily presentable compared with up in the islands. Well, I've set up now, and I'm feeling confident. This vitamin method, I ain't used it here for a little while now, a good couple of seasons, but I've spotted on the right hand rod, rightly or wrongly, short sessions, put out the vitamin on the left hand rod with all those seeds and bits and bobs. Just looks right. It's about time it happened for me on that method. I've got no inclination to use boilies. The boys were kind enough to invite me onto their bait, which was the tiger nut flour mixture, but I just want to persevere with this particle approach. It's just crying out for it. If you can get the presentation right and get on the fish, I'm sure you can have, you know, 2 or 3 bites. So, you know, I'm fishing a swim, I ain't had no pressure. I'm just over the Canadian. Presentation doesn't seem a problem. Fingers crossed. It's like you're fishing for the last 2 hours really, because they're swimming around during the day, spending energy. They've got to eat, and come 8:30 till 10:30 is your best shout. Well, I'm back on Arrow, first time in a couple of weeks, and I'm in the lawn. Got a rod out there, about 30 yards, over some vitamin, in line with the willow. And then the left hand rod, the banker, which is down in line with the edge of the willow, about 50 yards out, over various particles. Big news of the day was that Trevor had Dearman's mate this morning at £48 out of the road bay. So I was going to fish in there, but I didn't like sort of jumping in after Trev. So I've baited up with some hemp and some pellets, and I'm just keeping an eye on it every hour or so. So we go around there and have a look. This is the swim. Very little pressure in this swim over the years. I fished it a couple of times, but yeah, historic morning for Trevor. He's had the fish a couple of times before, but that's certainly its biggest weight he's had it at. Apparently fishing out there in line with a willow. But I've baited down here with some hemp and pellets. Well, about 4 o'clock I took a walk up here where I baited earlier with the hemp and pellets, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Masses of bubbles beyond belief around there to the left, exactly where I'd baited. So I went back, got a rod, put it out there, saw a few fish, gone and got the rest of my gear now. But if I can present properly out there, there's a good chance. There's the bubbles now. The presentation is good enough, I'll get a bite now. That is the start of a lot of bubbles. Well, it's about 6:30 and I cannot believe the fish are fizzing and boiling over the hemp and pellets like I ain't seen for a few years on here. It is unbelievable, and I cannot get a pickup. There must be several fish down there, and it's really frustrating. I don't know what to do for the best now with the rig, and you know, there's a lot of Canadian down there, a lot of weed, and but the fish are going mad. I said to Andy it's worth him getting down here in the morning, or Trevor. I'll put the rest of my bait out there, the hemp and pellets, go in here, because they'll clear a spot out there, that's for sure. The way they must be rooting around, and all they must be doing is burying milk bait, burying it like massive, and I just don't feel like I'm going to get a pickup. But the fish are going garrity, and you know, I'm going to fish here because there's just, you know, a chance, but the presentation is everything. But certainly the particle approach, if you can present it, will definitely give you multiple catches over boilies. I'm sure of that. And these, you know, anything, sweet corn, the pellets, the hemp, the seed, you know, the sunflower hearts, anything like that, they are mad for it, and there's no one else putting them in, which is all the more reason why, if you can present, big catch. Just missed that boil, but look at that. Crikey, I need help. I wonder if there's anything in here about presenting. Our old mate Max. In one of my boats, you can't beat them. Well, this rig's obviously not doing it for me. I'm going to change it now. It's always a banker. Look, 3 little tigers and a bit of cold greedy pig rig. But there's too much weed, I think, for that to work. Well, rightly and wrongly, I'm trying this now. You put out the bait, the bubbles come, they eat all the bait, the bubbles stop. Simple. Come on, give me a chance. The fish are actually boiling just under the surface. You can just see the deep boils. It's been a frustrating afternoon, that's for sure. But there's still some fish down there. And rightly or wrongly, I've got both rods over that area now, hoping that one of them is better presented. See what I mean? Just missed that. A deep boil, followed by bubbling. There it is again. Well, if this camera comes out again, it means I've had one. It's just turned 8 o'clock. It's been a frustrating afternoon, that's for sure. And it's not the first time I've been on fish like this and not caught. Presentation's everything in these sort of conditions, and yeah, it's frustrating. It's really drove me mad this afternoon. I won't be back for at least a week now, so this is my last opportunity, and it'd be nice to leave on a high note. So yeah, let's see how we got on. Got another couple of hours yet, but yeah, frustrating afternoon, that's for sure. But that's fishing arrow for you. Well, it's Thursday afternoon, I'm over Little Grange now. I was on Harrow Tuesday, packed up about 9 o'clock, frustrated. I've come over here to do the night, my second night this season over here. So I'm in my favourite swim here, Palace. Got one just on the edge of those pads, and one out there 30 yards through the boat. It's going to be my base camp for the night. And I'm going over to see Steve later on for a barbie. Familiar territory, hopefully running down there at night with a bite and hitting the rods. It's lovely over here, it's been fishing quite well the last 24 hours. So yeah, looking forward to a nice evening and night's fishing. Clive's in, just come round.
Nice looking, isn't it? Alright, driver's gone in.
What a beautiful fish.
It's lovely, isn't it?
That is a pucker fish.
Is it a biscuit or not? It's not, is it? What?
What is that one then, Milk?
The one they call a biscuit. Yeah.
Is that the biscuit?
You know,
Yeah.
because you like.
Biscuit fish.
You,
I want this on video. Oh, Steve thinks he owns the lake, doesn't he, Milk? Come round here, chucking your weight about.
Out this way. I'm going in the step down. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, looking through this, it's twins.
Shit.
No, you're staying here.
I would kill myself. Have you fucking spoke that picknell yet?
No, I can't get him. Got more chance of getting Elvis, mate.
5, 4, 8, 12.
Mate, that was me, 42.
Go on, you put it down.
I'd say it's about 26.
You're on it right up.
John's looking at it.
Where'd it go?
26.
2.
No,
You don't reckon that's a biscuit?
no, definitely not.
Ah.
Not a biscuit. Biscuit
See, I
has
didn't
got-
think of these.
The biscuit has got a bit of a dodgy mouth and it's just one scalp right way down the tails. There's none of that.
That's pucker, isn't it?
See, I told you.
Beautiful fish.
That's
What's the other one
isn't
then?
it?
Full, that real long, pretty linear.
It's a biscuit.
Oh, that's what. Oh, I thought they was calling that biscuit.
No.
So that's why I didn't remember them top big ones, and that's why I thought
That's the one
Well
Ken
done, boys.
put in here.
Lovely fish.
that's another
That's not a
cracking
biscuit.
fish.
Yeah, no, that's the one Ken put in here.
Is it?
Nice one.
Right, well done.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah. Super. Hopefully see another one of them. Approaching 7 o'clock. Boy, does that inspire you. Well, it's sort of early evening now. I'm really hoping no one goes into that swim there. That corner swim. There's a few people turning up now, and Clive over there just put that one back. He's in the disabled. Between me and him, we could have this corner cut off, and it really looks mad for it. But we can do without the extra lines of someone going in over there. So before I bait up for the evening, for the night, Just want to check no one does go there, but I've got one on the edge of the pads, and my right hand rod I've got out slightly to my right, which is probably too close to that right hand swim there if someone goes in it. Just added the loaf of bread to this. Certainly adds a certain something, that liquidised bread, vitamin with sweet corn, hemp and pellets. Well, it's the morning now, and I had a bream half hour ago and just lost what felt like a good carp. The hook link went on the right hand rod, which was the boated out one. I recast it after I'd had the bream, not bothered with the boat, and got it on the money. Totally pissed off now, packing up and going to work. Gutted. But kept here tonight. It was a warm night. Didn't sleep much. It's natural biting me to buggery. But yeah, packing up now. It'd be nice to go to work, and I've caught a fish. Gutted. Well, it's Saturday and I've been round talking with Bernsey. He's on his way round here talking about rigs. And I've come up with this as a result of discussions with Jim. So Jim's on his way round. He can play devil's advocate with me and see what he thinks. The idea being, it's a bit like the old chub rig on the fruit, that the lead is very close to the hook, and that pulls off when you actually hook a fish, so the lead and the hook aren't so close together that you can shake the hook out. But from a pricking point of view, it looks good. Well, it's Sunday afternoon, 24 hours has passed. I dropped that rig round to Bernsey last night. I don't know how you overcome the lead landing the right way, but this, I think, is the compromise. Just tied these up. And I think there's a lot of mileage in this rig. Well, it's Sunday, Monday, bank holiday Monday evening now, and after a long day's work, this is the attempt number 3 with ideas.
Hello, Dad. I'm eating it. Ha, ha. Good fishing bait, isn't it?
So that's the rig. I think perfected, but time will tell. On the 3rd attempt over the weekend. Not entirely original, but we'll see. Well, it's Tuesday, the last Tuesday in August, and I'm on Harrow. I was here last Tuesday when I was fishing for those fish up in the road bay. Packed up about 9 o'clock, totally frustrated. I couldn't present to the fish. But this and this bottom end in general seems to be the going area now. Fish have moved from the middle of the lake down here. Whether they're here today or not remains to be seen. But Jim and Mick had 4 fish out of here the weekend, and it looks good. Got sort of a light northerly breeze. There's fish moving all over the place. There's one just moved there. Sort of mainly on top. I've got a zig rig out on the left hand rod. Yeah, Andy's turning up later, and I think we'll cover this area. I reckon we're in for a chance tonight. Does look good. I can't bring myself to use their bait. They kindly offered me their bait, but I've got to stick with my own tactics. I've baited up on the factory rod with those. I'm fishing the zig over the top, or you know, until later on. And then on the right hand rod, I've baited with loads of these big pellets, mixture of 11 and 18 mils. And got one of them just straight onto the hair. God, the knife look good here. Well, I've been trying to tie up these bags. The bags need to be a little bit bigger with this BDS lead. Let's just see how it works. So, let's donk. See what happens. Bag looks like it's full of water, of air. And there's my pop-up, coming straight off. With a foam nugget. Looks like it works. Just need the bag to be a bit bigger. That's the rig. I'm using a very short, it's all very smeggy, very short hook length prop up with £20 stiff link. I'm getting the knack of making these, but I reckon there's a lot of mileage in these leads. Just leading around now, just noticed that swan in line with the sort of 5th poplar. You can see it standing on a bar where the water's down. That's down on the factory bank. Just had taken a walk down there and there's plenty of bubbling in various pockets. Wind's died down, but it does look good. There's no shortage of fish around here. But really, you know, as the last few weeks has proven, it's that last couple of hours now. It was mornings earlier on in the season. This is the weed in the margin in the lawn. You can see how green the water is. I ain't seen it like this for 10 years or more. Almost like well, it's an algae bloom. Just hope it don't go turquoisey. But the water's like a pea soup green. Mixed with the Canadian and the crapweed, presentation ain't easy. That's for sure. Well, it's everything at the moment. Here he comes, my partner for the evening. Alright mate,
How you doing?
how was the journey?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, glad to have you here.
How's it going?
Yeah, fine.
Anything doing?
No, nothing doing mate, but you know, there's been a few fish out here and but they've been all over this bottom half.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
That's why the boys are there opposite.
Who's over there?
Got Graham and Ray.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I'm just casting out for the night hand, so you can throw it a minute. I'm just down left here hand, so you can throw it anywhere.
Going next door here in the beach, Kev, yeah. Yeah.
I'll come in here hand. Gone green, innit? Just feel like you're waiting that last couple of hours, hand.
Yeah, sure.
You know, when I got here, at Northerly, you know, it looked perfect.
Switch it off, will you?
Well, it's early evening now, about 7:30, and I'm feeling as confident as I can be. I'd have liked that wind to keep coming down northerly, but that's died off now. It's like a mill pond out there. Lots of fish moving around and bubbling, but again, not sure that they're all carp. But yeah, you're really fishing, it seems, for that last hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. But it's a nice evening to be out. Andy's plotted up in the bench and got a nice evening in prospect. Fingers crossed to fish. You know, pressure's on. I had those 4 bites first day of the season. I ain't had a bite since, and I've been on fish on a few occasions. So I don't think I'm doing anything wrong. I just got to persevere, and yeah, you know, Harrow goes like that. Just so happens I'm having a few years of it, but the rewards are high, and fingers crossed. Well, I just lost a fish. I've never landed a fish here in the lawn in 20 years, and it weren't a big fish. I got it sort of 10 yards out, and the hook come out. It was in amongst a load of weed, but I'm gutted because I could have done with that fish, and that was on a salmon pellet on the right hand rod. Just fished hard on the bottom, so yeah, gutted, but got the next 2 hours, hopefully get another chance. Fingers crossed again. Well, it's the last Thursday in August, a couple of days after I was here last, and I lost a fish, second fish, over in the lawn Tuesday night, about 10:20. It's gutted, the hook link went, and last time I used that Invisalign, that Invisalign knot strength's crap. And I remember reading about that with an article by Gibbo. So anyway, so I'm back on the on Arrow. I'm fishing Parsons. Seen my personal best about 5 years ago, probably even more than that now. Look down there, 39.5. Anyway, got this sort of northeasterly wind blowing. It's overcast, not too warm. In fact, you know, good conditions compared with what we've had the last few weeks. I was going in the bottom corner, but that blue-green algae's all down there and it looks smeggy and shitty. But the wind's started to go down there more now. I hope I ain't done a wrong one, but it feels good here. Had both bites on the old pellets. The old 21 mils. These are about 12 mils or something. And I'm putting out small pellets in the bag. I'm going to tidy up now, have a cup of tea, phone the office and relax. Looks like the rain could be coming. Yeah, there's a fish. Talking to Ken, look, he can't move. Oh!
You barrels clock. Get
up. You're not as strong as you think you are. Go on, son. Go on. There you go. He's going under the trees. I'll catch up with you, Ken.
Right.
Here he goes. Even at his age, he can run. Fish just put his head out. Under the tree, swim out there. Well, this is the first serious rain we've had for weeks. Set to come in for the next few days. It'll clear this blue-green algae. Maybe the wind will whip up and this will fish its head off. Come on, rain. We've missed you. This is my latest offering rig, 20-pound amnesia. Short link, about 6 inches long. Pellet on the end, lassoed, and that's going out on one of the rods shortly. Looks like James is in over there in the lawn. Might have snagged him, I'm not sure. No, he's alright. Good lad. There we go, what an expert, lovely. See what he's got. Bloody divers on my bait, painful. Consulting now. I think that's Ginger Mick and Andy. That's a good fish over there. I'd go round there, but I ain't got me waterproofs. And they didn't see that. But just in front of James, a big fish just lumped out. Come on. There it is, going back. I wonder what it is. The long one, certainly looks it. Long that is. Lovely, I wish that was me. Fantastic. Well, it's about 6:30 now. That fish of James was 42, the one with the sort of folded over towel. Pucker fish, Andy said, and that's inspired us. And just, you know, that lawn, anyone who's in there at the moment is getting the bites, that's for sure. But yeah, conditions are looking good now. It's brightened up a little bit. The rain stopped, and hopefully we're in with a shout. Best time to come. Really do feel like you're fishing for that last hour at the moment. But yeah, I'm glad the rain's here, and there's that smell in the air. That smell that anglers know when there's rain and there's fish on the cards. There's that you know, yeah, can't describe it, but anglers know what I mean. Just what I need in the swim. Ken's just had one, I've just lost one. I know that fish, Ken. That was my first fish out of here, 17 pound.
It's gone right through, look, and come out. It's come out and gone in the net.
Fish is fighting hard on the bank where Ken's give it so much stick. Lovely, lovely fish that. Look at him, how mad is he?
Jesus Christ.
Beautiful fish, look at that. Lovely fish, know that fish well. First fish out of it at 17 pound, Ken's got it at just under 30. Super. Yeah, beautiful fish that. Absolutely wonderful. That's what you're here for.
God, fucking
Their mothers. Well, it's Monday the 1st of September and I'm back on Harrow fishing in the lawn, having lost one fish last Thursday in Parsons, 2 earlier on in the week on the Tuesday in here, and then 1 over the Grange the Friday before. So the last 4 fish I've hooked I've lost. It's not good angling at all, but it looks mad for it this afternoon. Bites have been on these. Been putting out sort of 14 and 21mm pellets and soaking the hook bait in me Minamino and butyric acid mix. But yeah, it's a brisk northerly wind. Temperatures are set to rise as the week progresses. I'm off to Euro Disney tomorrow, so this is my last chance for a week. But look at it out there, it does look good. Here he comes, the icon of modern day angling. Everywhere he goes, he runs 100 miles an hour. At the age of 50 odd, he can still run 100 metres in about 11 seconds. Mad, isn't it? Are you shy at all? What, mate? Don't be camera shy, you'll be fishing with me now. Oh, Jim, seriously though, you can use some of my bait.
Thank you.
That's Jim casting out. It's been a while since we fished together. Eh?
Mechanically brilliant.
Yeah, mechanic. I'll always remember that phrase, Jim. Yeah. Used to describe Maddox, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Back in the early 80s. There's another icon of modern day angling. Mobile Andy. Look, we're all here. It's party time. Look, we're all here. Jolly boys outing. He's sticking my pellets out, old Jim.
How you doing, all right, mate? Yeah. How's it going?
Oh, what a lovely evening to come.
We've got a chance, have we?
I'll tell you, we can get a bite between us tonight. Old Burnsy's turned up, it's like a pikey camp, look. Rods all over the joint. It's Jim's marker float, he's gone down to the factory to throw some bait out. First lot he's thrown out's fallen about 20 yards short. As did they. These are really good conditions now. We thought it was going to go a bit clear. It's clear sky over there, but as you pan round we've got some thick cloud coming, and that's what we need for tonight. I'm sure we're in with a chance here.
Is that 32 and a half?
Yeah.
Jed with a 32 pounder
Yeah.
out of 29. Excellent. Well done, Jed. Lovely fish. Want to get the other side quickly? Yeah, look at that beautiful fish. Into the head there. Yeah, lovely. Look at that. Wow.
Get that photo of it, Kev.
Isn't it?
You see the mouth?
Go on, pull him up a bit. Oh, look at that. That's terrible. Look at these muppets. What are you laughing at? Use free.
Well done, Jed. Yeah, 18 that is. Jeddy, see you in the week.
See you, Jim.
Well done, mate.
Well done, mate.
Look, Thompson twins. See you later on. There's your Jed. Anything to say for the camera, Jed?
Nothing, mate.
No?
Good
Oh.
night. It's good night for me, and it's good night for you. Take the light off, will you?
We know how to have a laugh, don't we? Well, it's Tuesday afternoon. I'm back on Harrow. Come on through.
So,
I'm back on Harrow and didn't have anything last week. still yet to land a fish. Having had 3 bites here, and I'm struggling. Yesterday there was 3 or 4 fish out, no big uns, but it's been fishing quite well given that the weather ain't been ideal, although today's about as good as it's been for a few days, and the weed and algae's as bad as ever. But you know, I'm persevering with the pellets. I think you need something smelly to pull them down, and now you've got 2.5 hours of darkness, you're in with a fair shout. So I'm in one of those dilemma modes. I'm in Parsons, and since I've set up here a couple of hours ago, that wind's pushing well northerly now. Jim and Mick are in the lawn. I hope I don't live to regret leaving that stream free for them, but in the bottom corner and in the log cabin it all looks very good. So I don't know, just got to keep my options open at the moment. It's good out here as well because I can present well out here, even amongst the weed. I've got my clear spots sort of 25 yards out, but it's no good if the fish ain't here, so I've got to have my wits about me for the next hour or so and see what occurs. That's the fish James had in the lawn when I was videoing him, and Ken had it the following Saturday, a couple of days after he had it. Lovely fish. That's going to mess with me head. Burns has got one. I think he's lost it. What's going on?
It's a turtle you're fishing.
There's 2 of them fishing, yeah. Yeah, look. Loads of weed. Don't know what's going on now. Well, it's approaching 7 o'clock. Andy's just setting up opposite me. Jim lost that fish due to the weed, I think. But hopefully we've got the best time to come. Well, I'm back over the Grange now, Friday evening. Early, about mid-September. And yeah, I lost a fish here about 3 weeks back. Hopefully I'm going to break my duck now. I've lost 4 fish on the trot. Turned out on Arrow, day after I was there, 2 fish come out of that area. One out of my swim, one out of the willow. They were definitely there that night, Wednesday night. Again, I'm fishing the left hand rod on the edge of the lilies. The right hand rod out about 40 yards, or 30 yards actually, that vicinity, with the boat. The scene Saturday morning after a blank night. A couple of line bites on the left hand rod, a few fish jumping. Set to be a nice day. It's now 9:30. I'm going home for breakfast. Well, it's the 15th of September, Monday. I'm back on Harrow, having done the night over the Grange Friday night. It's been very hot the last few hours, and really you're waiting till this evening, whiling away the hours. From 8 o'clock till 10:30, that's your shout. That's when most of the bites have been coming. And I'm in the usual spots, one in line with that left-hand poplar in the middle of the viewfinder, and the other one down towards that willow, as close to the bank as I can get it, about 50 yards out. Well, it's mid-September, just gone. I started off over there in the bench, saw some movement over here, and I've come over here, and I'm knackered. Put my marker out there, and I'm getting my bait ready. Some Grange mix here, crushed tigers, tiger powder, or tiger meal, Vitalin, some pellets, some sweet corn, and that's going out on both rods, and I'm filling it in with ground bait. The tactic I was using up till a few weeks ago, stopped using. Now I'm using it again, but the conditions are a lot better today than they've been the last few days, that's for sure. So I'm knackered. I'm going to get set up and get them out there. Well, this is a different lake this evening to what it was on Monday, that's for sure. Conditions look perfect. Mild, overcast, good southerly breeze. Seen some fish earlier in Parsons. You know, presentation, baiting, everything's spot on. Just hope, you know, feel like if I don't get a bite tonight, I may as well call this game a day. But anyway, see how we get on. If the video comes out again, it means we've had one between us. So fingers crossed. Ken's got one. Last knockings. We get a picture of it, Ken.
No, not yet. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Pretty little fish, isn't it?
Yeah, perfect. Well done. Yeah, lovely. Yeah, one of the Simo's fish, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get it close up. Get the other side, and I'll take a picture off the video. Yeah, perfect. About £44.
We wished.
Yeah, lovely. Well done, Ken.
Right,
Perfect. Oh, well done, Ken. Well, it's the Friday, and I'm over Grange as I was here last Friday, just to do the night till the morning. Turns out Tony, who was fishing with Ken, moved into my stream this morning, had a 40 and a half. Took me 20 years to still be with that one. He caught one of his first visits. Anyway, I'm over to Grange. Not ideal conditions, but I got him out there for the night. And order a curry and have a nice evening's fishing. What we all looking at on a Saturday morning? Mick with a lovely common. £34.
How big was it, Mick?
34 and a bit.
Superb, look at that, wonderful. Look, get in.
Smack you. I knew you can do that. Lovely jubbly.
You must have caught another one in the
Yeah.
night, Mick.
Hey?
You must have caught another one.
God, fuck it.
Yeah, lovely.
More than that on it, but no,
Look at that, beautiful fish.
Sorry.
Slight lump on the side there. We're putting him back, Mick.
It actually dropped, it actually started moving it down.
Yeah, because I'll get over the top of you and get him going back.
But I managed to get that one last one for the one.
see it's breaking through now, can't you?
Yeah.
Make that. Yeah, I think that's the one milky at the 33.
Yeah, he's into the weed. Fresh and about.
Well done, chap, thank you.
Yeah, well done, Mick.
Size keep down there, look right.
What season you're having, eh?
Oh, yeah. Let's go with that.
When I first come on here, they used to think you was a noddy. I wouldn't go with that, Mick.
I'm not saying nothing, you've got the video on.
Well, Mick's put that fish back. It's Saturday morning now, about 9:30. And I really am at a stage when I wonder if I'm ever going to catch a fish. I just seem to be struggling and putting in more time than I normally do. Giving it as much effort as I can, presentation, baiting, everything. You know, when I get them, I'll get a chance, I lose them. You know, it's right frustrating at the moment. Off to Switzerland next week for a few days. Probably won't get to fish now till the back end of next week. Boy, do I need a fish. Parting shot of the Grange, Saturday morning, just before I go home.